So this is going to be my first video. It's a walkaway video about leaving the Democratic Party after nearly 30 years. I've always been a Democrat. Last week I submitted the paperwork to change to unaffiliated. Don't plan on going the dark route and becoming a Republican because the reason I'm leaving the Democrats is they are following down some of the same paths as the Republicans. They are taking the low road, in my opinion. Um, and I think this kind of goes back to a quote that I really like, and it's a Nietzsche quote. I'm not really big on quoting him, but I don't agree with everything he was famous for or infamous for, but he did say, whoever fights monsters should see to it that he does not become a monster. And when you gaze into the abyss also gazes back into you. It's a warning about people fighting the good fight and in the process corrupting themselves and becoming monsters. Another way of saying the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And I believe that many in the left, the far left now, have good intentions, but I don't think that they're seeing the long road, the way that their current path is taking them. And it's a very dangerous road that mankind's been on repeatedly, and it always ends in failure. So it's one of these cases for at least the past many elections. It's been a case of voting for the lesser of two evils, and I'm tired of having to pick between the lesser of two evils, having to pick between someone who hates me for being gay or non-Christian or whatever, and someone who hates me because I'm white or male or cisgender. And there are people on both sides who do hate people for those attributes, and it's sad because the Democratic Party used to be the party that supported freedoms and the freedom of speech, the freedom of association. They were the ones who supported specifically the freedom of speech that many people found bad, evil even. That's the whole gay rights movement was built on being able to go out and celebrate something that many people thought was a sin. And now you have people who have benefited from all those decades of fighting for free speech, trying to shut other people's free speech down because they have opinions they disagree with, and they call it hate speech. And this is wrong. This is one of the fundamental attributes of having a functioning republic, is you have to have freedom of speech. And the Democrats are not for that anymore. Freedom of speech has been thrown out the window. It's all about your feelings, and I just can't be behind a party that cares more about feelings than about freedom. Republicans don't really care about freedom, so I'm not joining them. They're just it's all you got people on both sides that are really big on identity politics. On the Republican side, they're all for you if you're white, male, Christian. They just eat that shit up, especially if you've got some money. Of course, the Democrats love you if you've got money too. They say a lot about helping the poor, but they really don't. Just look at, that's one reason Hillary Clinton put such a sour taste in so many people's mouths with the last election. Bernie, talked a lot about helping the poor, and I think he probably really did want to help them. But, Hillary was really up with Goldman Sachs, and she just did not give a shit about middle America. She called a lot of those people in the Rust Belt states to end up switching to Trump, horrible things, deplorables and shit. So it was her election to lose, and she lost a lot of Democrats in the process because she had that sort of snooty attitude, and you're not going to win elections with that. So basically it comes down to you got two different parties that don't really give a shit about the average people, and when I say average people, I mean the working class, the middle class, the people that make up, the vast majority of the population. They really don't care. It's become all about power, and I decided I'm tired of picking. Well, this one is they're both going to fuck me, but one will use lube. And I'm just tired of that. I'm going to go with my conscience for once and not have any evil done in my name. And I know some people will say, well, we did that before and we ended up with Bush. And yes, I did vote for Nader back in the day, but I don't see it as a wasted vote. I think that it should have been a wake-up call for the Democratic Party. And just like Hillary's defeat should have been a huge wake-up call for the Democratic Party. But instead of learning the lessons from defeat, they have doubled down and decided to fully embrace really far left ideology, the idea of no borders, no ICE, no police or even prisons. And I don't know what these people think, the sort of society that they are going to create with that sort of mindset. But it's only going to end bad, and it probably will only end in Trump getting reelected. And I don't really want to be a part of a team that basically is helping the enemy more than the average people that it should help. So I'm unaffiliated now and will remain unaffiliated for the foreseeable future. On the plus side, in North Carolina, that helps because our maps are gerrymandered all to hell. So I've heard that if you're unaffiliated, it makes it a little bit harder for them to gerrymander the maps. And when I say they, I mean the Republicans that are in control of the state. So, there is that one cherry on the top.